So, okay, the question is religion good for anything? My answer is yes. But it isn't good for what we think it's good for. It's good for something we have not thought about. And what we've not thought about is what I'm going to talk about today, because there's no sense me talking about things that we've already thought about, because then that would be not very original. Almost all religious books are roughly somewhere between fantasy and science fiction, and you won't find a religious book that isn't. No religious book bases their information on scientific fact. It's always extreme. What is it? It's extreme extreme bullshit is what it is, but it's very specifically executed bullshit. And the reason for this is it is a test. It is a test to see if anyone will check to see that it is bullshit. And this seems like a lot of bullshit, but it isn't. It's a quest of the human mind to have the ability in the face of adversity to see clearly what is and what isn't. And we could probably go and take a few examples of Jesus Christ. And the first example I can think of is his brother-in-law Lazarus was supposedly dead. Everybody said Lazarus is dead, and Jesus came and he said, no, he is just sleeping. And there was another story about the little girl. It depends on who you read. I think Mark said he was 12 years old. I don't think Matthew said how old she was, but some people think it was Mary Magdalena, his girlfriend, wife, whatever. But the thing is, Jesus said, now catch this, he said, no, she is not dead, she is just sleeping. But still, nobody caught that. Now another point is, Jesus Christ shouldn't have had to tell them that Lazarus was not dead, because if Lazarus was up walking about, that should have been evidence enough that he was actually alive and walking about, because dead people don't do that. But we haven't come that far yet. We haven't been able to understand the difference between dead people and alive people. And this, I'm afraid to say, is not a very good sign for our perception. We are not able to perceive the difference between dead people and alive people. Then we have ways to go in our evolution of understanding. I have to concentrate mostly on the Book of the Jews and the Book of the Christians, because those are the books that I know. So, but what I was going to say was, oh shit, I forgot, I'll come right back. Instinct. Instinct is the question. We have instinct. There's no doubt we have instinct. And oddly enough, when you read through the New Testament, the New Testament, it doesn't matter which one, but you'll pick up ideas that not only was Jesus Christ an atheist, because anybody who believes in God is actually insane. I don't know if people are going to accept this, but it's true. If you believe in the God of Moses, that is insanity, because it's absurd. If you go back and read the Torah every 7 years, like Moses says you must. A lot of Jews, Christians, and Muslims don't read the Torah every 7 years, and they don't even know that they're supposed to read it every 7 years, because they've never read it once. And how the hell are you going to believe a book that you never read? And the funny thing is, as soon as you start reading it, it is impossible to believe it. Impossible. And that is the genius of it. That is the genius of the Bible, is that it is impossible to believe if you go in there and study it and look and think and know the difference between a dead person and a live person. If you know the difference between somebody who is dead and somebody who is alive, you can read the Bible and understand that it is perfectly impossible to believe it. Does the Pope believe the Bible? No, the Pope does not believe the Bible. None of those people way up there believe the Bible, because after you've read it 3 or 4 times, you know that it is impossible to believe it, because it is written in such a way that it contradicts itself back and forth so often that you get to the point where you realize, this is actually a science fiction book, but what it's doing like many books do, if you read a lot of books, you will see this pattern. It pushes and pulls your mind from one side to the other. Like a quantum computer will work eventually, unless they have them already. Our brain is a lot like a quantum computer. We have to push and test each side of it. And we have to know the difference between death and life, death and life. And once we got that back and forth, we can see clearly and understand. And that's part of our instinct. Our language is part of our instinct. We use our language to better communicate ideas, and ideas are one of the most amazing things that we've come up with. Of course, this religious test has been a little bit hard on us because they've used the method, you can see this in Moses very clearly, do as I tell you to do, not don't do as I do. Everybody knows that you're not supposed to do as the leaders do, because if you do as the leader do, we're completely dead right away, because they're all tyrants and they're all bloodsuckers. But take a look at Moses for a second, and he always said, do as I do or I kill you. Believe what I tell you to believe or I kill you. So it's been not easy to get through this whole religious nonsense. It's been difficult for us because we keep thinking that we're going to get killed if we don't do what they tell us to do. And sure, it is true, but it's not the right way. We still have to be subversive. We have to say, no, this is the wrong way to do it. We are actually here on this planet Earth, and it is for anybody to enjoy, and the elite must go. They've played their silly game long enough. We've seen it. We've seen that religion is a bald-faced lie. A bald-faced lie. If you look at it, it's perfectly written as a bald-faced lie. And we have believed it anyway. I mean, sure, as a kid you don't have a choice. You wake up, your mom says, okay, now we're going to read from the Bible. And then you go to bed, and your mom says, okay, well, read from the Bible before you go to bed. Then we go to Sunday school, then we go to church, then we go to church in the evening, and on Wednesday we go to prayer meeting, and if you're young enough, you can go to what the little boys do and the little girls do separately, and you do crafts and whatnot, and then you talk about God, and God is this, God is this, God is this, God is this. Of course you're going to believe the shit. But as soon as you wake up and you see that the rest of the world is believing in a similar shit that's completely different, then you start to wonder, well, why is my shit more right than the other bullshit? And then you realize, well, it's all bullshit. And then, whoa, you won the trip. And what happens? You realize that you are here and now, and that heaven isn't somewhere when you're dead. It's here and now, and those bastards who have taken it away from us so that they can have it all to themselves have promised us that when we die, we get to go to heaven. Well, that is a bald-faced lie, and we have to fucking check that. We have to see, okay, they've been lying to us, so let's come and wake up and change it. Let's say, no more religion. We've got that test, we finished it, now let's get on with the next one. And I think the next one could be, how do we keep us from killing the planet? But just to finish it off, so that we finished off with what we started off, is religion good for anything? Yes, it's a testing zone. It is a testing zone to see if you can see, to see if you can perceive, to know that you are here. Simple as that, to know that you are here. Of course, it takes a few billion years to get that picture. So don't be surprised, don't be disappointed that it takes a few people a little longer to figure out that this is it, that we're here. Call it heaven, paradise. That's what it is. There's no place in the universe, at least for the next 200 million years, that even has life support systems. 200 million light years. That's not a long time, that's a long distance. There's just simply not very many places like this. So by definition, this is paradise for air-breathing creatures. So it's heaven. And if you can't believe that, well, kill yourself. It's probably the best bet. If you can't believe that this is heaven, and that we're in paradise, and this is here and now, and we've got it, that it's ours, not because we deserve it, it's got nothing to do with deserving, it's billions of years of evolution. Evolution has simply given it to the first people that evolve here, and we did it. So, stop being stupid, and stop